if your ABM program is not working, it's because of the execution, not the strategy. And so companies get together, they start sipping on the ABM Kool-Aid because their CEO went to some conference where Terminus was presenting or something. So they're drinking the Kool-Aid. And then they're like, okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to buy the tech. They go through like 6 months of organizational planning and putting the tech together and all this different stuff. And they come out and they think that they're ready. And then they got their list. And then they got the list and they go out and not a lot's happening. And a lot of companies, I wish I had the stat off the top of my head, but I remember it being pretty high. Like one of the main struggles reported, and I believe it was Salesforce's report, is that the number one challenge that companies are facing right now with ABM is inability to track or prove ROI. And my belief on that stat, and I believe it 100%, that makes total sense to me. And my belief is that they're having trouble tracking it because it's not generating anything. Because what they're doing is they're just taking mainly display ads, running them to accounts just so that they can do cold calling. And I've done a couple of tests on this. One, I sat on a call with a CSM with a vendor just because I was interested, and I heard what the CSM was telling my customer to do with the ABM tool, and I was like, this has got to be the worst strategy I've ever heard. And so that was one piece of it. And then we actually took campaigns that we were running on a different channel, and we just wanted to see what would happen. So we took those, we reformatted them, we put them inside of this company's display campaign engine. We turned on the campaigns, and then the dashboards were off the chart. Within 6 hours of launching these campaigns, the dashboards were going crazy. Like all of these accounts were having intent and different things. And they were just pumping up metrics because you're running display ads through their platform and they're taking a cut of the money of the advertising spend off of it. And so it's just, it's concerning to me about where this is at. It's just on the tactical level that I want to get into. And so I still believe that companies can select their list. I have confidence that, I mean, a lot of people say like 50% of the success of ABM is choosing your list. I've worked at companies that definitely couldn't choose the list, but I believe that most companies are capable of selecting a list with companies that are going to be good fits. The main thing that I see with that as an issue is they select accounts that are on their wish list and they're never going to win them, right? I could put together our ABM list, Salesforce, HubSpot, Gainsight, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to win any of those accounts this year. And so I'm afraid that some companies are literally doing that. But if you exclude that, which I would consider strategy, I believe that this really breaks down at execution. In terms of the execution, number one is that the marketers that are running the campaigns don't understand customers. You'll hear me say this all the time, but it's so true and it's so fundamental and it's so easy to solve. And so just understand customers. It's going to take, like, if you're a marketer and you're like, do I understand customers or do I not? Like, I believe that should be an ongoing process where you've probably interacted with customers for at least 90 days to have a shot of doing that. So understanding customers is then going to drive the content, right? So for whatever reason, like I consider from a marketing standpoint, content is the deployment. It is the driver. It is how you actually get stuff done. But the people that are creating the content don't understand customers. And honestly, like, I don't even see a lot of content. I don't get involved. I don't see a lot of the content coming through from ABM vendors. And so it doesn't feel very content driven. And so that could be another gap, right? Because my belief is that it's so push, email, conversion, let's get meetings, let's just cold call people and that stuff, that the content either is an afterthought, the content is a way to put a catchy headline on there so that you can get someone to click onto your website so you can claim some type of intent data so that you can cold call them, or you just don't do it. And so the lack of a clear content strategy, like I mentioned before, like these massive enterprise companies that have 50,000 or more employees didn't just come inbound to us for no reason. It's because we executed a content strategy that clearly resonated with them, which built brand, which created earned PR, which built credibility, which led them to come to us to solve their issue. And so the next thing that I would look at in terms of this, we have customer understanding, we have content. The next one is short-term mindset. So the easiest example of this, I've literally heard these before, where companies are considering for their 12-month sales cycle that they're going to run an ABM pilot for 3 months. And it's like, so, and then if you did that, or even if you did it in 12 months, it doesn't matter because the marketing mindset is the same way. It's short term. If I just decided one day that I'm going to Gainsight's on our list, so I'm going to go after them, and with all my might, I decided I'm going to produce content for Gainsight, and I'm going to cold call them, and I'm going to DM Nick Mehta at the CEO, and I'm going to talk to all the other people. We're not going to win that deal because it's just purely it's not a great fit for where we are. They're not going to buy from us, and we're not providing any value along the way so that they understand what we're doing, so that they have an understanding of what we're trying to do. So customer understanding, content, short-term mindset. The next one is channels. I guess, yeah, we'll go channels for this one. So channels at this point, like any ABM strategy at the moment, unless you're not using tech, is basically getting driven through what MarTech vendors tell you to do. And I sat on, like I mentioned before, I sat on the calls. I see what's happening in the dashboards of the metrics. Like, I do not believe that is a sound strategy to execute marketing on, but that's how it's being implemented. And so when you have that, you have the channels that you're going to get. You're going to get LinkedIn, just purely because there's enough company data to target there. But mainly you're going to get display ads. And display ads get pushed because most of the vendors take a percentage of the ad dollars as additional revenue that run through display. And everyone here, or at least I would say, at least most people here, know my position on display ads. I encourage everyone to think about when's the last time they actually saw one. It's weird to think about, but I said this a couple of episodes ago, and I was thinking about trying to explain it better. At the moment, I don't even visit websites that are eligible to serve the banner ads. It's so interesting. I visit company websites. I'm using internal tech that requires a login, like Salesforce or HubSpot or things like that. I spend a ton of time on my mobile device on social networks. I use other apps on my phone that aren't invested in serving ads. And then occasionally I'm like looking up a word in the dictionary or something like that. So I go to search and I land on whatever, dictionary.com, and there's a couple banner ads. And so the amount of available spots where somebody could actually put that ad, my position is that B2B buyers are on those websites way less than they used to be, which therefore they don't even have the opportunity to see the ads as much. I just believe that there's a over obsession with the tech. So whatever the capabilities of the tech are, the dashboards and metrics that are getting created on there, what other tools can we integrate? It's not working. What other tools can we integrate into this? We could put more tech on top of a strategy that's not working. Like, those are some of the places where I see it break down. So to recap, we have, let's see if I can remember this. We have just deep customer understanding from marketers, lack of a content-driven approach, over-reliance on tech, channels, and short-term mindset. Those weren't like laid out in steps 1 through 5. That's just me kind of riffing on that, but those are some of the misses that I see right now. Hey everyone, this is Chris Walker, the CEO of Refine Labs. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. We're also live for Demand Gen Live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday night, which will also go on the State of Demand Gen podcast, which is available on Apple and Spotify. Thanks again, and see you next time.